Let's do this one more time. Yes. Hey, Tanika. Hi. Welcome. Haha. Thank you. I'm just getting ready here to log in to begin. Uh-huh. Here we go. All right. So, good evening, everyone. Good evening. It's evening here, yes. Just becoming evening. Sun's just going down. And I'm doing this at this time because I want to do it before the crickets come out. If you remember when I did the my 45 days, there were some times when I did the evenings and there was this background noise, which after a while I didn't even hear. People people spoke about it. Some people liked it. A couple of people said there's something wrong with your communications. It wasn't the communication, it was the tropical night sounds. And so I want to do this before the tropical night sounds begin. I think I'm hearing something. But anyway, I just wanted to jump on to invite you to hang out with me next week. I am doing another series of lives, Friday to Friday. And today is just to invite you to join me tomorrow, Monday, Tuesday, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday again. So we can talk about women's things. Some very interesting things are happening. I'm looking around the world. One of which is in Iran, with all the upheaval, the turmoil, and women around women because of not because of, one of the triggering events was a young woman who was killed in custody because she got arrested for not wearing proper hijab. Another young woman who got killed just one day this week for protesting this. And then there's some other cool things happening around the world with women, just women getting involved in all kinds of things. And so I'm going to be talking about this. I have some friends who are doing some amazing things around the world. And then they're just women I'm reading about in the newspapers, across social media. And if some of you might know that part of my background is journalism. I wanted to be a journalist when I was a child, but I lived in this tiny island that had one newspaper. And then when I did move abroad, I did write for newspapers for a little while. For a few years, I wrote for some newspapers in New York. I wrote for the Jamaica Gleaner, Caribbean Life, and it was an interesting time. And I've since written papers that were a little more academic, probably I should say, and but I've never lost my love of journalism and all the things that go with it. And so this new series of lives is going to be something across between journalism and just us talking about what's going on with women and about how women can support one another, because ultimately that's what my work is all about. It's about women supporting one another, women finding ways, looking for ways to support one another, because when one woman succeeds, when any one woman succeeds, all women win. And I have this conversation often with women. They say, "Surely just any woman?" And I said, well, women just like men we have all the faults and propensities as well as the qualities and characteristics and all the good things. And so there will be women who won't do good work. There are millions of women who are preventing the United States, for example, from signing the Equal Rights Amendment. It's not just men fighting against it, it's women. And so there's a lot of work to be done around women and how we support one another, how we support the things that are important to women, the things that lift women and carry women forward. And it's important that we do this because these things don't just lift women, don't lift only women, lift everybody. My fundamental statement is that when women succeed, men also do. The better women do, the better men do. And men are beginning to recognize that. And I think that we get to keep pushing for that and keep telling men, yeah, when we do better, you do better. So support women in making our contributions to the world. It's really important that we do that men do that. In order to get men to do that, we have to engage them and talk with them. But we also, before that, have to keep doing our work with one another, for one another. because ultimately what really matters is women, is that we are working and supporting one another as we move forward to help us all move forward. Yeah. So we're working on two fronts, working on ourselves and working on the men, because ultimately the world is, it's all of us. And so what I'm going to be doing this week is going to start a series. I'm going to do the whole week, and then I'll be doing it once a week. Once a week we'll do one of these programs where we talk about what's going on with women, and we also do some educational, informational, uplifting work, because one of the important things also is that we learn, we keep learning, we keep moving forward, we keep informing ourselves, educating ourselves about all of the things that we need to know, all of the things that would help us all, and some of the cool, fun things. So we'll be talking about everything from what's going on in Iran, for example, politics and those serious things. We also be talking about shoes and clothes and travel and learning, the things we need to know. And of course, I run the Women's Leadership Circle. So there are trainings that we do at the Women's Leadership Circle that I'll invite you to, and we're doing some really, really short trainings coming up really soon. I want to invite people to, because also one of the things I know is that as we learn, we share. Some years ago, when I was doing some work in China, one of my students reminded me that an old Chinese proverb is, when something good comes to us, we get to pass it along. So what I learn, what I pick up as I go, the wisdom, the information, the knowledge, the skills, I get to share them with you, and you get to share them, what you pick up with me and with other women. And that's how we rise. That's how we move forward. That's also how we level up our game. The more we know, the better we do. And the more we know about the more things, the easier, the wider is our language, our vocabulary. You will hear me talk a lot about the vocabulary of experiences. I run a program for children, an after-school program called the Montauk Brain Trust. And what we do there is we teach children all kinds of things to expand their minds, so that when something comes up, they have lots of different experiences to pull from. And they also have the words to describe it. And it's when you have that wide vocabulary that you can put things together. And let me give a simple example. When we talk to children about the alphabet, we talk to them, the first 7 letters of the alphabet, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Those are the letters you use for music, but they're not enough for you to speak, use words, right? And so we have them understand you have the 7 letters, and you can write words with the 7 letters. There's some words that are 7 letters. When you know the whole alphabet, you know more words. So when something happens, you have lots of different words you can put together to describe what you're feeling, describe what's happening, and also to say what you want. And it's when you have all of those different experiences, those different languages, different words, that you can create something new. You can create something new. And we talk about music. We tell them you have these 7 notes. All of music has these 7 notes. They're put together in a million different ways, but they also are played on so many different instruments. And that is why music is infinite. That is why songs in all these millions of years, millennia, thousands of years, not millennia, not millions of years, all these thousands of years, there's still songs that can be brand new, melodies you've never heard before, because they're put together in these. There's so much scope for difference and for novelty and innovation when you have the vocabulary, whether it's the notes themselves or in many different instruments, and the way these different instruments are played, and the different people who play the different instruments. So different people get the same 7 notes and create entirely different things. Here in the Caribbean, where I come from, we have calypso, we have soca, we have ska, used to be, we have reggae, we have cadence, we have salsa, we have rumba, there's a whole wide range of music, because there are all these different people with different ways of looking at things, different ways of putting things together, different ways of understanding, and different ways of communicating. And that's what I want these programs to be about. Women developing, expanding our vocabulary of experiences, of wisdom, of knowledge, of the world, of ourselves, so that so that we can always be creating and growing, building and contributing more and more and more. That's what this is all about. And so I want to invite you to join me every day next week, every day until Friday, and then once a week after that for these programs where we just get to do this cool, wonderful work together and talk to one another. Yes? So have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Go have some fun, Tanika. Go have some real fun. Everybody who's on, I can't see all of your names, but thank you for joining me. And I look forward to hanging out with you tomorrow and Sunday and all the way until next week and once a week after that. In the meantime, go check out the website, shirleyosborne.com. You'll find out more about me if you're new here. And of course, you can check out my social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, and find out about me and who I am, where I come from, what I do, what's important to me. I'll tell you all about that. You'll hear more and more about that as I go. But if you want some fundamental, some basic information to get you started, go there and then let's talk. So have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Thank you for joining me. And I'm looking forward to all of what's going to be going on next week. In the meantime, my friends, take good care.